The president's wife never expected in her wildest dreams that she would just casually hand over the credit for negotiating a multi-million-dollar deal to the newly hired male assistant. I immediately tossed her a divorce agreement. For a moment, everyone thought I had gone mad with anger. But what they didn't know was, this multi-million-dollar deal was merely my monthly pocket money. Without me, the company wouldn't exist. And that so-called multi-million-dollar deal they admired would be nothing more than a worthless piece of paper. As soon as the conference ended, Lucas, the new assistant who had only been working for less than 6 months, instantly became the center of attention in the entire hall. Goodness, Assistant Lucas is incredible. He casually negotiated such a huge contract. He's from the Noah family in the province, a young master with an extraordinary aura. Just his demeanor alone sets him worlds apart from ordinary people. Lucas has such great taste in clothes. They look like custom-made designer pieces. Faced with all this flattery, Lucas simply smiled without saying much, though the smugness in his eyes was unmistakable. It was Olivia who finally stepped in to ease the situation. Everyone, stop crowding around Lucas. He successfully negotiated such a massive deal for the company. He's a true hero. Just as I was about to stand up, I suddenly stopped myself. Since when did this deal, which I shamelessly begged my parents for, become something Lucas negotiated? Moreover, I've never heard of a young master named Lucas from the Noah family in the province. While I was lost in doubt, Olivia pulled out a bank card and the keys to a Porsche, handing them to Lucas. Lucas, thank you for your hard work for the company during this time. There's $1 million in the card. If it's not enough, just let me know. And this car, you've always said you don't want to commute too far, right? Later on, I'll buy you a house near the company. I stared at my wife in disbelief. At this moment, she arched her brows and smiled gently, an expression I'd never seen before. Around us came faint, mocking laughter. Some employees who knew about the state of our marriage were sneering at me, whispering among themselves. If this had happened in the past, I would have resorted to my usual brute force method, immediately confronting Olivia in heated argument. But now, all I wanted was to uncover the truth. I grabbed my coat and left, planning to find a quiet spot to call home and get to the bottom of things. Suddenly, someone with sharp eyes exclaimed in surprise, "Isn't Deputy President Taylor's coat identical to Assistant Lucas's S?" Only then did I notice, it really did look strikingly similar. Except my coat was specially ordered overseas by my family on my birthday. Custom made for me by designer James. That designer has since retired and vowed never to design clothes again. So my coat is one of a kind in the entire world. But where Lucas got his coat from, I had no idea. Unexpectedly, Lucas brushed it off generously. "It's just a coat, I happened to buy it. If Deputy President Taylor likes it, then I won't wear it anymore starting tomorrow." In an instant, everyone praised Lucas for his generosity. He even went so far as to lecture me. "If Deputy President Taylor admires my style, I'm flattered. But I still hope you can live authentically as yourself, instead of deliberately imitating others." The room erupted in laughter. Beauty is enhanced by fine silk, and a good horse shines with a proper saddle. With the same outfit, who wears it better? Deputy President Taylor, have you ever heard the saying, "If you're ugly, whose fault is it?" Clashing outfits aren't scary, it's whoever looks worse who should feel embarrassed. Those mocking words stung deeply. But at that moment, I didn't want to argue with them about clothes. I just wanted to quickly get to the bottom of the investment matter. Unexpectedly, as I was about to leave, Olivia suddenly blocked my way, her face cold as she took off her coat. Her gaze was sharp and icy, like a knife piercing through my outer shell straight into my heart. I stared at her in disbelief. "Don't you trust me either?" Olivia looked skeptical. "The designer of this coat, but clearly, it's by James, the famous American designer. This coat is worth at least a few $1,000s. Who are you? Do I even need to ask? Where could you possibly get the money to buy something so expensive?" With Olivia saying this, Others were even more convinced that I was deliberately imitating Lucas. Lucas hurriedly chimed in. "Deputy President Taylor, you really should take off your coat. It's embarrassing. No matter how much you dye a crow white, it'll never turn into a swan." He shook his head and continued. "If you like it that much, I'll give you my coat. You always wear knockoffs anyway. Even if you don't feel ashamed, you're still embarrassing Boss Olivia here." Hearing these words, Olivia's expression darkened further. She shouted, "Taylor, I order you to take off that coat right now." I knew Olivia meant what she said. She truly believed it. In the past, I would have immediately complied to please her. No matter how unreasonable her demands, I'd happily accepted without hesitation. But today, I dared to defy her in front of everyone. Olivia froze for a moment. After all, I had always obediently followed her every command. But now, I simply looked at her coldly. What if I refuse? Olivia felt humiliated, gritted her teeth, and in the next moment, pulled out a utility knife from her pocket, threatening harshly, "If you don't take it off, I'll tear it to shreds." The scene froze instantly. Everyone stared at us, too stunned to speak. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Was she really making such a big deal over a coat? Lucas, with a fake smile, stepped forward to break the silence. "We're all family here. There's no need to make such a fuss. If Deputy President Taylor likes this coat so much, then I'll just give him mine. Problem solved." As he spoke, he chuckled, taking the utility knife from Olivia's hand, then removed his own coat and offered it to me. One glance and I could tell the coat in his hands was a high-end counterfeit. I sneered and shoved him away. "Get lost." Little did I know, a sinister gleam flashed in Lucas's eyes. By the time I realized something was off and tried to dodge, he had already lunged at me. The utility knife in his hand not only shredded my clothes but also sliced my arm. The pain made me suck in a sharp breath. But before I could say anything, Lucas was already on the ground, wailing, "Deputy President Taylor, I kindly helped resolve the situation and even gave you my coat. How could you push me?" His clumsy act, yet people actually fell for it. Olivia immediately rushed over, distraught, pulling Lucas into her arms and turning to shout at me, "Taylor, have you gone mad? Lucas already gave you his coat, and you still pushed him. What kind of person are you? Apologize to Lucas right now." Her blatant favoritism pierced me like a blade. But I stubbornly stood my ground. "I won't apologize. Moreover, he pushed me first. If you don't believe me, we can check the surveillance footage, it'll be obvious." But Olivia remained icy. "So many people saw you push Lucas with their own eyes. Are you still going to deny it? With this attitude of yours, I don't think you need to keep your position as deputy president anymore." She raised her head, her cold gaze fixed on me. Every time she wore that expression, she was waiting for me to bow my head and admit fault. But this time, I wasn't wrong, and I wouldn't budge. I gave a cold laugh, tore off my employee badge, and threw it to the ground. Fine, then I quit. My attitude caused Olivia's expression to freeze instantly. "Taylor, what do you mean? Get back here and explain yourself to me right now. Taylor." Olivia kept shouting after me, but I ignored her completely and walked straight ahead. I thought I'd feel sad leaving. But as I stepped out of the company, I felt like a bird freed from its cage. All I felt was calmness and relief. Taking a deep breath, I called the family butler. Within seconds, the call connected, and a familiar voice came through. "Young master? Uncle William, have you ever heard of a young master named Lucas from the Noah family in the province?" Uncle William paused thoughtfully, then replied gently, "Never heard of him." I smirked. "Good, then I know. Uncle William, help me investigate this Lucas's identity. Oh, and the multi-million-dollar deal, we'll talk about it later." "Yes, everything will be done according to your instructions, young master." The call ended. I looked up at the gradually darkening sky, emotions swirling in my chest. Before, love had blinded me. I had wanted to give Olivia everything I had, holding nothing back. But now, I've come to my senses and started wondering, Does Olivia really have what it takes to handle a multi-million-dollar deal? Instead of going home, I hailed a cab to a nearby bar. For 3 years of marriage, my world revolved solely around Olivia. But now, I wanted to give myself a break, a chance to truly unwind. I partied wildly until midnight, stumbling home in a daze. I noticed the lights were still on at home, and Olivia, rarely waiting for me, was there. She sat primly on the sofa, her long legs crossed. Her face bore a bright smile, but it was laced with an icy frost. "You're late, don't you even know what time it is?" Instead of answering directly, I asked in surprise, "Isn't tonight the celebration banquet for Lucas's achievements? Why are you back so early?" Ever since Lucas appeared, Olivia had practically clung to him 24/7. Today was such a grand celebration. How could she not stay out all night? Olivia's expression filled with hope. Today isn't just about celebrating Lucas's success, it's also our anniversary. I intentionally ended early and brought you a gift. But you forgot this important day. Do you even have me, your wife, in your heart anymore? Every anniversary, I'd meticulously prepared, booking the finest restaurants. But every time, she left me hanging, leaving me alone in a restaurant full of couples, staring blankly as the food on the table grew cold. This time, I hadn't prepared anything. I partied at the bar until midnight instead. Olivia pushed the gift toward me. "Try it on and see if it fits." I specially picked it out. I glanced at it. The so-called gift was nothing more than a cheap short-sleeved shirt bought offhand from the supermarket. The design was baggy, completely ill-fitting. The price tag hadn't even been removed, $5. Olivia had never easily given me gifts. Once, while we were shopping, I'd noticed a watch priced under $30, and she'd scolded me harshly. "Do you think my money grows on trees? How have you become so materialistic? I feed you, house you. Do I need to give you everything for you to be satisfied?" Yet, without hesitation, she had later gifted Lucas a $1 million bonus and a brand new Porsche. My throat felt dry as I spoke. "Just say whatever you want to say." Olivia's face stiffened awkwardly. "It's nothing, I just wanted to ask, can you transfer your shares to Lucas?" A thunderous roar echoed in my mind. I stared at her in disbelief. Those shares were ones she had once begged me to accept, kneeling before me. "Taylor, without you, there would be no company. These shares symbolize our love. If you refuse them, it means you don't love me." With no other choice, I accepted, promising that if she ever needed them, I'd return them anytime. But I never expected it to end like this. Seeing my darkened expression, Olivia began to complain bitterly. "What's got you so upset? You know today was Lucas's celebration banquet. You caused a scene, stormed out early, and embarrassed him. I consoled him for a long time. And finally, I had to promise to transfer your shares to him just to make him forgive me. Aren't I cleaning up your mess?" It was always Lucas. At the mere mention of his name, frustration surged within me. I sidestepped Olivia, saying nothing, and headed straight for the bathroom. But she blocked my way, her face clouded with resentment. "Taylor, what's wrong with you today? All I'm asking is for you to apologize to Lucas. Is that so hard?" I was momentarily speechless. Olivia wrinkled her nose, catching the smell of alcohol on me, and immediately grew unhappy. "You've been drinking? Didn't you promise me you'd never go to those places again after we got married?" "I ended the celebration early on purpose. Came home to spend our anniversary with you. And you went to a bar to have fun instead. Are you even worthy of me?" I didn't see her pitiful expression. I only felt how ironic it all was. Initially, I had defied my family's objections, resolutely giving up everything to be with her. When she said she wanted to start a company, I used all my resources to secure funding for her. Later, when her business failed and racked up millions in losses, I knelt before my family, begging for money to fill the financial gap. I had silently paid the price time and again. And yet, in the blink of an eye, she handed over my contributions to Lucas. Even our wedding anniversary was just an excuse to negotiate terms and curry favor with another man. Now, she had the audacity to accuse me of being irresponsible. Thinking about it, I couldn't help but laugh coldly. I truly am at fault here. If you think someone else is better, then by all means, go to them. My words acted like a spark, igniting the long-buried time bomb between us. Olivia's eyes welled with tears as she shouted at me. I understand now. You're jealous of Lucas, aren't you? You resent how well I've treated him, don't you? But who did I do it all for? Wasn't it for this house? For our future? Lucas is the young master of the Noah family. Building good relations with him will benefit the company's growth in the future. You're a veteran of this company, you're also my husband. If you won't think of me, fine, but why must you act so jealous and pick fights with me every day? If you were the heir of some great family, would I need to lower myself to please others like this? Hearing this, I felt suffocated. In this moment, I finally understood the real reason Olivia had distanced herself from me. It was simply because I wasn't rich, because I wasn't the heir of a powerful family. I gripped my phone tightly, my knuckles turning white. On the screen was the real information I just uncovered about Lucas. I had intended to use this opportunity to reveal it to her. But now, I saw no point. For a moment, I felt disoriented, as if I'd been transported back 3 years ago, when I'd argued with the old patriarch, wandering the streets, penniless and lost. Olivia, back then, she had descended into my world like an angel, feeding me, taking me home, sponsoring me. Her clear, innocent eyes once drew me in completely, making me give up everything without hesitation, running toward her without a second thought. But at some point, the harsh reality tainted those once beautiful eyes with the stench of worldliness. The purity I once admired had long been clouded by self-interest. All I ever wanted was simple happiness. But Olivia, without my realizing it, had gradually drifted far away from me. Olivia, let's get a divorce. My hoarse voice delivered the words, and Olivia stood there, stunned, staring at me. I dragged my exhausted body back to the bedroom, lowered my head, and drifted off to sleep. That night, half awake and half asleep, Olivia suddenly reached out on the bed, hugging me from behind and whispering softly in my ear, "Honey, let's have a baby. That way, you won't keep overthinking things anymore." The familiar tenderness made my heart race. But the very next second, I caught the overpowering scent of cheap Colonia perfume. The knockoff kind I despised most. The smell instantly repulsed me, and I pushed her away. Olivia stormed out in anger. "Don't you dare regret this." I assumed she'd go straight to Lucas that night. To my surprise, early the next morning, as I had just gotten out of bed, Olivia emerged from the kitchen smiling. "You're awake? Come eat breakfast quickly." The table was filled with fried dough sticks, steamed buns, and other heavy flavored dishes. But I preferred light meals for breakfast, just the smell made me nauseous. I forced down my queasiness and frowned. "I don't have an appetite. You eat." Just then, Lucas walked out of the kitchen carrying a pot of soup, grinning smugly. "Time to eat." A wave of pungent steam hit me, and my face immediately changed. I covered my mouth, my voice trembling. "What is this?" Olivia smiled sweetly. "Aren't you jealous? Lucas heard about what happened and volunteered to reconcile with you. He even spent the morning making this special stew for you. Go ahead, try it." But she clearly knew I would never eat something like this. Even the sight of it made me want to vomit. "I'm going to throw up, take it away." I tried to suppress my nausea and snapped angrily. At that moment, all I wanted was to escape this house and breathe some fresh air outside. But Olivia's face turned cold. She deliberately ladled a full bowl of the soup, brought it right in front of me, and icily threatened in a low voice, "Lucas has given you a chance here, don't be ungrateful. Drink this soup now, and apologize properly to Lucas." Before she could finish, I couldn't hold back any longer and rushed to the bathroom to vomit. Olivia didn't care at all. Instead, she stood outside the door, her face full of disgust as she loudly criticized, "I only asked you to taste it. Why are you reacting so strongly? Such good food, wasted. Are you worthy of Lucas's kindness?" After scolding me, she immediately apologized to Lucas. I'm so embarrassed, it must be hard to watch. He's such a country bumpkin, he doesn't know how to appreciate fine food. Let me eat with you instead. With that, she flashed a radiant smile, linking arms with Lucas, laughing and chatting as they ate together. Their casual physical touches made Olivia blush shyly, completely forgetting that I was still vomiting uncontrollably in the bathroom. By the time I finally managed to stop and stepped out, Lucas was already gone. The moment Olivia saw me, her expression froze into icy disdain. What were you doing this morning? Someone kindly invited you to eat, and you kept throwing up. How disgusting. Don't you realize that if we seize this chance to climb the ladder through the Noah family, we'll strike it rich? And you almost ruined such a golden opportunity. Thankfully, Lucas is generous and didn't hold a grudge. You'd better call him later and apologize properly. I stared at her, feeling utterly alienated. Seeing no reaction from me, Olivia raised her voice impatiently. I'm talking to you. Are you deaf or something? I took a deep breath, calmly pulled out a divorce agreement from the drawer, and spoke gently. I've already signed it. I'm leaving with nothing. Whether it's the company or this house, I don't want a single penny from you. Olivia's body stiffened instantly as she glared at me. I simply nudged the uncapped pen toward her. Sign it. I had expected Olivia to happily sign immediately, then turn around and run straight to Lucas. To my surprise, she looked at me with anguish, tears welling up in her eyes. You're divorcing me just because I gave Lucas a few more benefits than you? Why did I do all of this? Wasn't it for your future? For the company? For our family? Are you worthy of everything I've sacrificed for you over the years? You once swore to love me for life. You liar, a liar. I didn't understand what grounds she had to accuse me. Seeing Olivia's unrepentant demeanor, I simply shook my head, silently picked up the luggage I prepared, and left this house. Some people will never change. And some things don't need to be said anymore. After leaving, I called Uncle William and canceled the multi-million-dollar order with Olivia's company. Instead, I decided to publicly open bidding to all businesses in Manchester. I was the one in charge of this investment conference. The other end of the line fell silent for a moment before Uncle William's astonished voice came through. Young master, are you finally returning to the family? I smiled sheepishly. In the past, I was young and naive, not understanding how things worked. I thought love was more important than everything else. But in the end, I realized it was all fleeting, like smoke scattered by the wind. Uncle William was overjoyed. Young master, you've finally come to your senses. The old master has been waiting for your call every single day for 3 years. Hearing this, I felt even more ashamed, guilty toward my family, guilty toward my father. After hesitating for a moment, I dialed the number that had gathered dust for 3 years. As soon as the call connected, my father's scolding voice immediately rang out. You good for nothing brat. So now you remember you have a father? I chuckled awkwardly, but I didn't feel upset at all, only a sense of closeness. My father snorted coldly. Uncle William already told me that you've come to your senses, that's good. Quickly stabilize yourself, adjust your mindset, and take over the family soon. I've always seen you as the successor I've groomed. Yet you abandoned everything to chase after some foolish notion of love. That was truly irresponsible. I nodded firmly. Father, rest assured, this time, I won't disappoint you. My father continued slowly. Conveniently, the 2 candidates for your arranged marriage have arrived in Manchester. Find some time to meet them. Upon hearing this, I raised an eyebrow slightly. 3 years ago, to escape the family's arranged marriage, I had run away and met Olivia. Little did I know, I had jumped out of one pit only to fall into another. This time, I wouldn't run away. I'll go. Father, send me the meeting address. The next day, I stood outside the agreed-upon shopping mall, waiting for my arranged marriage partner. At that exact moment, a brand new Porsche suddenly pulled up to the entrance. Olivia and Lucas stepped out, chatting and laughing. Olivia leaned softly against Lucas, attentively adjusting his collar. The passers-by couldn't help but look on with admiration. Such a beautiful scene. I naturally didn't want to disturb it. I intended to quietly leave, not ruining this perfect moment. Unexpectedly, Lucas spotted me and called out loudly, "Deputy President Taylor? No, now it's just Mr. Taylor, right? What a coincidence, you're here too." I politely smiled. Olivia's expression shifted slightly as she subtly distanced herself from Lucas. Lucas couldn't hide the smugness in his tone as he loudly boasted. Boss Olivia insisted on taking me shopping. There was no stopping her. Not only that, but she also specially reserved a restaurant and invited me to a candlelit dinner. It's such a pity, if there had been room for one more, I would have invited you along. Olivia was about to explain, but the next moment, she noticed that my face remained completely calm, unaffected by his words. This startled her, and her voice trembled as she asked, "Taylor, aren't you angry?" I gave a faint smile. Why should I be angry? If this had happened in the past and I'd found out she was dining privately with another man, I definitely would have made a huge fuss, arguing for 3 days and nights. But now we're about to get a divorce. If she wants to eat with someone, let her eat, it has nothing to do with me. Hearing this, Olivia's eyes immediately reddened. She pulled me aside and patiently explained, "I bought clothes for Lucas because the investment plans suddenly changed, expanding to all of Manchester. All businesses are receiving investments, and Lucas is in charge of the project. So he needed to dress appropriately. And inviting Lucas to dinner was to apologize on your behalf for the inadequate reception at our home last time. There's really nothing between me and Lucas. All of this is for work, for us." In the past, Olivia had never explained anything to me. Every time we argued, she'd blame me for being petty, not giving her any personal space, making her feel suffocated. But now that I wasn't making a scene, she seemed panicked instead. I gave a faint smile. "So, should I thank you for this?" Olivia stubbornly bit her lip. "Taylor, until when are you going to keep causing trouble? If you're upset about me dining with Lucas, then I'll ask the restaurant to add another seat. Come with me, stop making a fuss, and come home with me, okay?" She gently tugged at my sleeve, her tone soft and pleading, tinged with sorrow. The sincerity in her eyes wasn't fake. But how could belated sincerity warm a heart that had long grown cold? I gave a faint smile and let go of her hand. "No need, I have an appointment." Olivia froze. "With whom?" The very next second, a luxurious Rolls-Royce pulled up beside Olivia's Porsche. By comparison, the extraordinary elegance of the Rolls-Royce instantly crushed the Porsche. The car door opened, and a pair of slender legs wrapped in black stockings stepped out. A melodious, bell-like voice rang out. "Which one of you is Taylor?" I never expected my arranged marriage partner to make an entrance like this. As I stood there stunned, she noticed me. Wearing high heels, her graceful figure glided toward me. Though it was only a few dozen meters, she successfully captured the attention of everyone present. A mature, alluring woman like this, no matter where she went, she was bound to become the center of attention in any room. Olivia, always proud of her beauty, couldn't help but feel inferior and lower her head in front of this woman. "Hello, I'm Sophia." Her sweet voice jolted me awake. I politely extended my hand, gently shaking hers. Such a simple gesture, but in Olivia's eyes, it sparked an intense wave of hostility. "Taylor, who is this person?" She glared at Sophia suspiciously. Not only that, but she deliberately shifted her body, positioning herself between me and Sophia as if guarding her territory. This over-the-line action made me frown. But before I could say anything, Sophia removed her sunglasses. In an instant, a flawless, exquisite face was revealed. She slightly furrowed her brow, her luscious red lips curling into a mocking smile. "I'm Taylor's fiancé." The 3 words, fiancé, were heavily emphasized by Sophia. I looked at her with slight surprise. No wonder she's the formidable heiress of the Noah family, just a few sentences. And her presence had completely crushed Olivia. Olivia couldn't believe it and glanced at me. But seeing me coldly standing aside, silently confirming everything, Her heart shook violently. Gritting her teeth, Olivia shouted, "How have I never heard that Taylor has a finance? Miss, perhaps you don't know. I'm the one Taylor married properly." Sophia responded indifferently. "That's true, but from what I understand, Taylor is about to divorce you." A casually spoken sentence, yet its impact was devastating. In an instant, Olivia's entire defense crumbled. Her face turned pale, then green. Suddenly, her venomous glare locked onto me. "I see, you're divorcing me because of this woman, aren't you, Taylor? You ungrateful bastard, how dare you treat me like this?" Lucas also pointed straight at me, shouting, "Taylor, what a waste. I actually thought you were ignoring Olivia because you were jealous of me. I even tried to explain things and apologize to you. Who would have guessed? You've already found someone else." He turned to Olivia. "Olivia was just talking about picking out gifts to apologize to you on the way here. And you truly have no heart." Olivia's eyes welled with tears. Her voice filled with disappointment. "Lucas, why bother talking to this ungrateful man? All my sincerity wasted. It's like feeding scraps to a dog." She turned to me, choking back sobs. "Taylor, I'll give you one last chance, come home with me. Everything that happened today, I can pretend never occurred." By now, quite a crowd had gathered around us. They didn't know the full story, only hearing Olivia's side, and they began pointing fingers, whispering, and cursing me as the unfaithful one. In that moment, I became the center of judgment, and Olivia's self-righteous clinging only pushed me further into the abyss. "All right, but sorry, we're already divorced." I left those words behind, then coldly turned around without looking back. At that exact moment, Sophia curled her lips into a taunting smile. "Did you hear that? From now on, don't ever cling to my fiancé again. If you do, don't blame me for being merciless." Olivia immediately collapsed to the ground, shaking her head repeatedly. "It wasn't like this before. He used to treat me differently, why is he so cold to me now?" Her tears fell drop by drop, shattering into tiny shards of light. Meanwhile, Sophia linked arms with me, our shoulders brushing as we stepped into the shopping mall together. Just before entering, I still heard Olivia's venom-filled voice echoing behind me. "Don't dream about it, I absolutely will not sign those papers. Taylor, you'll never divorce me. And you'll never be able to stroll around with Sophia." Yet, I felt no joy in walking through the mall. My chest felt heavy, and I couldn't find the words to express it. Sophia tilted her head and smiled softly. "What's wrong? Feeling regretful?" Looking at her exquisitely beautiful face, I couldn't help but feel astonished. Just moments ago, outside the mall, Sophia had been strong and commanding. But now, in front of me, she revealed a playful, adorable side. I chuckled faintly, my heart full of mixed emotions as I said, "No, it's just that I was thinking. People often only learn to cherish something after they've lost it. Olivia tried so hard to hold on to me, but she never made me feel loved." Sophia suddenly stopped in her tracks, turning to face me with a haughty gaze. "Stop pretending. You, the melancholic guy, answer me honestly right now. At this very moment, what do you see?" I was taken aback and replied softly, "Of course, it's you." Sophia burst into laughter and moved closer to my side. Her small, cool hand gently took mine. In an instant, our fingers intertwined. She giggled softly by my ear. "Silly, what I mean is, cherish the person in front of you. Don't keep dwelling on the past." Her sudden words felt like a confession, making my face flush and my heart race uncontrollably. Noticing my reaction, Sophia burst into soft laughter. "I'm not saying anything new. But seriously, you've been married before, how are you still so naive?" I was flustered, unsure how to respond. In the end, it was Sophia who broke the ice, dragging me on a shopping spree through every major store in the mall. We bought so many gifts I could barely carry them all. And Sophia paid for everything without hesitation. She even handed me a carefully curated men's grooming set. "A little elegance never hurt anyone," she said gently. "Men should take care of themselves too. And besides, Your stomach's sensitive, you shouldn't eat spicy food. Hearing her fuss over me like that, I froze for a moment, lost in thought. Back when I used to ask Olivia out, she'd always refuse, citing work, or even scold me for being clumsy or inconsiderate. Even on the rare occasions she reluctantly agreed, I'd have to tiptoe around her mood. At the time, I just assumed she simply didn't enjoy shopping. But now, I finally understood. Olivia didn't dislike shopping. She just didn't want to go with me. Sophia, on the other hand, made me feel deeply loved. Through every small gesture and every offhand word of care. We wandered until night fell. I wasn't ready to stop, but Sophia had something urgent to attend to and had to leave first. Right before we parted, an odd question slipped out of me. Even though our families arranged our marriage, I've neglected you for 3 years. Why did you still wait for me? Sophia just smiled, not answering directly. Instead, she asked, if you only had 3 days left to live, what would you want to do most? I hesitated. She raised a finger and gently pressed it to my lips. No need to answer right away. Think it over carefully. Then tell me. I believe you'll remember. She got into her car. I stood rooted to the spot, watching until her figure disappeared completely from view. And only then did it dawn on me. Suddenly, that beautiful silhouette felt strangely familiar. As if I'd seen her somewhere before. Just as I was lost in thought, my phone rang unexpectedly. An unknown number. Suspicious. I answered. Hello? You're Olivia's husband, right? She's drunk. Come pick her up. I heard a stranger's voice, along with Olivia's slurred rambling in the background. But Olivia had never touched alcohol. After we married, she'd even banned me from drinking multiple times. I gave a cold, quiet laugh. If she's drunk, why call me? Go ask Lucas to pick her up. It's none of my business. Immediately, Olivia snatched the phone and burst into loud sobs. Taylor, how could you become so cold-hearted? Even if I died on the street, you wouldn't care, would you? Does that mean you really don't need me anymore? I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and replied icily. Olivia, I've already made my position on divorce perfectly clear. You'd better just sign the papers. That way, we can at least part with some dignity. Otherwise, I'll have my lawyer file for divorce. The line fell silent for a few seconds before she asked in a trembling voice. Taylor, do you really have to be this heartless? Even if there's been a misunderstanding between us, can't we just talk it out properly? I let out a bitter laugh. Talk it out properly? I tried countless times, only to be pushed away coldly every single time. Now, I didn't want to waste another word. All I wanted was to end this quickly. Hearing my silence, Olivia screamed hoarsely. Taylor, you ungrateful bastard, I'll make you regret this. I hated the noise, so I hung up immediately, blocked her number, and deleted her contact. Ellipsis. For the next few days, Olivia stopped contacting me altogether. Instead, Sophia kept inviting me out. The more time we spent together, the stronger our bond grew. I slowly realized that Sophia and Olivia were complete opposites. Sophia could be fierce with strangers, yet gentle as water with those she cared about. No matter where we went, her eyes were always on me. She'd even share a single piece of candy with me. Though she was the only daughter of the Noah family, the heir apparent to the CEO position. Around me, she was more ordinary than any girl I'd ever known. With Sophia, I finally found what I'd always been searching for. A simple, genuine love. Ellipsis. 2 weeks later, Olivia and I officially divorced by mutual agreement. As we stepped out of the civil affairs office, Olivia clutched the blue divorce certificate tightly in her hand and gave me a cold stare. Taylor, you'll regret losing me. With that, she turned and got into Lucas's car. He even flipped me off before speeding off, leaving behind a thick cloud of exhaust. I just smiled faintly. I turned and walked toward Sophia, the one who'd been waiting for me all this time. Only now did I truly understand. I'd finally found the most precious treasure of my life. And once you've found a real treasure, how could you possibly regret throwing away a piece of trash? Soon after, The Manchester Investment Summit officially kicked off. This time, I went all in, pushing bold reforms and pouring tens of millions of dollars into Manchester, sending shockwaves through the entire city. Businesses big and small alike all rushed to join. At the venue, I raised a glass with one of the senior investors. "Mr. Taylor," he said warmly, "you've got real grit. Even old-timers like us have to look at you with fresh eyes after this reform." I smiled modestly and replied sincerely, "I'm just doing my best to give everyone here a chance to shine. Manchester's future rests on the shoulders of the people in this room." Just as we were talking, two figures approached. Olivia and Lucas. They strolled in hand, both dressed in custom-tailored suits. The picture of a perfect couple. Matching bracelets gleamed on their wrists, clearly brand new. I couldn't help but smirk coldly. Olivia had always looked down on me and never wore jewelry. She used to tell me I lacked ability, so I should focus on work instead of wasting money on frivolous gifts. Watching them now, I chuckled aloud. How sweet. I meant it genuinely, but Olivia's eyes instantly turned icy. "Taylor, are you mocking us?" Lucas stepped forward, voice sharp. "Taylor, you're the one who callously abandoned Olivia first. You've got no right to judge her. Besides, I know you don't even own a company. What business do you have at an investment summit? Did you sneak in here pretending to be someone important?" I just gave him a calm, indifferent look. But Olivia lifted her chin proudly and declared with arrogance, "I don't know how you got in here, but consider this a warning. Leave now. Don't be the rotten apple that spoils the whole barrel." The investor who just toasted with me leaned in slightly and remarked, "Young lady, don't tell me you've never heard of young Master Taylor?" The hint was clear, but Lucas missed it completely and sneered. "Of course I know him. Isn't he just a freeloader? He dumped his 3-year wife just to chase after some other woman's skirts. How can trash like that stand in a place as prestigious as this?" He kept hurling insults, freeloader, trash, spitting venom right in my face. But he seemed to forget one thing. The suit he wore, the car he drove, even the house he lived in. Every single thing was paid for by Olivia's money. I wasn't even bothered enough to argue, when Sophia quickly stepped over and whispered in my ear, "Taylor, the summit's about to start. Go backstage and get ready." Her eyes flicked toward Olivia and Lucas. Ice cold. "Want me to have someone escort them out?" I smiled faintly and shook my head. "They're here to bid, let them stay." That only made Lucas bolder. He jeered even louder. "Taylor, admit it. You don't even have a company. What fairness are you talking about? You only got in here by clinging to some woman's coattails. And the woman with you? She's probably no better. Might even be some cheap escort." The moment those words left his mouth, my expression darkened. "Shut your mouth," I snapped. They could say whatever they wanted about me, but they would not insult Sophia. Even Olivia seemed to think Lucas had gone too far and tugged lightly at his sleeve. But he was on a roll and couldn't stop himself. "What, can't take a few words? Listen up, Taylor. You're nothing but a useless freeloader." The entire hall fell dead silent. Everyone stared at Lucas like he was a clown smearing mud all over his own face. Just then, the lights dimmed. The host stepped onto the stage, took the microphone, and announced, "The Manchester Investment Summit is now officially open. Please welcome the event's lead organizer, young Master Taylor, to the stage for his opening remarks." A spotlight instantly locked onto me. Under the stunned gazes of the crowd, I smiled, took Sophia's arm, and walked confidently onto the stage. Olivia stood frozen, as if struck by lightning. Lucas, who'd been so smug moments ago, now gaped like he'd swallowed a light bulb whole. "Wait, Taylor's the one in charge of this summit? What's going on here?" The investor from earlier shook his head slightly, looking at Lucas like he was a hopeless fool. His lips barely moved, but his silent message was clear. "I warned you, you just wouldn't listen." On stage, I stood tall and declared with calm authority, "This Manchester Investment Summit will operate on 3 core principles: fairness, transparency, and integrity. Any company with real capability will have the chance to secure investment from the Wayne Group. The moment I finished, the room erupted. Thunderous applause filled the hall, countless voices cheered my name. In that instant, I became their hero. Riding the wave of excitement, I announced one more thing. My wedding to Sophia will be held next month at the Metropole Hotel. Invitations will be distributed shortly. I'd be honored if you'd all attend. Sophia turned to me, eyes wide with astonishment. She had no idea I'd been quietly planning all of this for her all along. It was precisely because today, I wanted to give her a joyful surprise. These past few days, she's been the one who helped me step out of the shadow of my past. Thank you for lighting up the darkness ahead of me and showing me that I too deserved to be loved. I was deeply moved. And the greatest gift I could possibly give her was the promise of a lifetime of happiness. Taylor, I love you. Sophia, the woman who always carried herself with such grace and composure in front of others, in this moment was like a little girl, forgetting all about appearances as she threw herself into my arms. Her hot tears soaked through my shirt. We received blessings from everyone around us. As I stepped down from the stage, Olivia, wild-eyed and frantic, shoved through the crowd and rushed toward me. In her haste, she tripped and fell to the floor, but didn't even seem to feel the pain. Her eyes wide and trembling, she stammered, You're the heir of the Wayne family? Why didn't you tell me? Why did you deceive me? I frowned, repulsed. Olivia, may I ask, what exactly did I deceive you about? She froze. For a split second, it seemed she finally remembered everything she'd done. She opened her mouth to defend herself, but I cut her off coldly. Olivia, this is an official business summit. If you'd like to bid, please join the line over there. With that, I took Sophia's hand and walked away calmly. Olivia stood rooted in place, panicked, desperate. She finally understood. Some things, once lost, could never be reclaimed. Half an hour later, it was Olivia's turn to present her bid. Lucas, who had been so arrogant and aggressive just moments ago, now stood meekly like a scolded schoolboy, respectfully handing me his proposal. I flipped through it twice, then said flatly, I'm sorry. The Wayne Group cannot provide any investment to your company. Please leave. Olivia trembled, tears streaming down her face. Taylor, are you really letting personal grudges interfere with business? What happened to your fairness and integrity? Can you really call this justice? I gave a cold laugh and tossed the proposal straight to the floor. You call this a business plan? Even a fresh college graduate would have done better. If I weren't fair and impartial, I would have had security throw you both out the moment you walked in. The fact that you dared bring this here is a clear insult to the Wayne Group. Only then did Olivia pick up the discarded document and read it herself. Her face turned deathly pale. She whirled on Lucas, screaming, What is this? Didn't you swear this was foolproof? Look at the result. Did you really submit this garbage? Has your brain been eaten by pigs? Around us, hushed, mocking laughter spread through the crowd. Many who knew about my past with Olivia glanced at me, whispering among themselves. It was then I finally understood. She'd trusted Lucas so completely that she'd never even reviewed the proposal herself. Desperate to salvage the situation, Olivia turned to Lucas and pleaded, Lucas, aren't you the heir of the Noah family? Think of something, quick. We can't afford to lose this investment. Sophia let out a mocking laugh. The Noah family? You're calling him for help? Don't make me laugh. Our Noah family doesn't have idiots like this. With that, she dropped a thick file onto the floor in front of Olivia. Take a good look, see exactly what kind of trash you trusted, and who you let slip through your fingers. Olivia collapsed to her knees as if struck by lightning, overwhelmed with despair. As for me, I no longer cared. I took Sophia's hand and walked away, happily preparing for our wedding. A month later, Sophia and I married without a hitch. On our wedding day, as Sophia stood on the altar making her vows, she pulled me into a fierce embrace. So tight it felt like she wanted to merge me into her very being. In that moment, I finally found my answer. When I was 8 years old, I was isolated by my classmates because of my looks. I'd even thought about ending my life. But just as I stood on the riverbank, at my lowest point, Sophia happened to pass by. She wrapped her arms around me and said, "Even if you only have 3 days left, you must cherish the present. Enjoy your life." In that instant, she became my salvation. Now, I wanted to tell her, even if I only had 3 days left to live, I'd spend every last breath loving you. Under the gaze of countless cameras and reporters, Sophia and I held each other tightly. That evening, over dinner, Sophia showed me a message on her phone. "Taylor, have you heard? Olivia fired Lucas. He's suspected of embezzling company funds. Now he's facing massive compensation claims and is about to go to prison. Olivia's company has also declared bankruptcy due to a broken capital chain." I just kept eating my congee, completely unmoved. Sophia nudged my shoulder playfully and teased, "Your ex is in such a mess. Don't you feel even a little something?" I smiled gently and pulled her close. Didn't someone once tell me to cherish the person right in front of me? So now, all I want is to live well in the present. As for the storms raging outside, they have nothing to do with me anymore.